Thanks very much. Our next speaker is Jonathan Giggs. Welcome, Jonathan. Good to see you.
My mother bought an abandoned house on Helene Street South in 1979, and from the front door, we've been able to see the 55 Port Street East for over 40 years. In fact, we were there before the current building was constructed, and I still think of it as CNC Yachts. I attended the community meeting on February 11th, and I've watched the two meetings at PDC on stream, and I've also read the recommendation report from your planning staff. It seemed that the opposition that we just heard now is what you hear at about every development. I think it would be on every PDC bingo card that you could ever provide. Too much height, too much traffic, too dense. Yet we heard from the planning staff how this development actually effectively addresses all those issues. It seems that some of the residents' opposition was almost against any type of development as opposed to this particular development. And as we know, the developer has a right to build something at 6 stories. That might not be quite as nice as what he's proposing at 9 stories. So from my point of view, then I have to evaluate, is the 6 to 9-story building, which is better for the community? From my point of view, I'm blocked from seeing the view from a 1-story building. So 6 or 9 really doesn't make that much difference. It's interesting that the speakers before you quoted the same parts of the recommendation report that I was going to quote, because I think that they actually speak in favor of the 9-story development. That the increase in permitted height from 6 to 9 stories allows for a building design that provides enhanced views to the lake, minimizing impacts on adjacent properties and the streetscape, and fits within the range of heights existing. The applicant has submitted renderings that show different viewpoints, and we saw some of them. They've done a shadow study, and there seems to be the shadow study seems to be satisfactory to your professional staff as well. So in a conclusion then, I would say that I support and agree with the recommendation report that was provided to you by your professional planning staff. And I think that the developer and the architect have really gone to great lengths to try to satisfy this opposition. We see that there's been the street level experience has been very carefully detailed. We see that the views to the lakes have been enhanced, the park behind it and the trailway. These are all things that have been considered by the architect, but unfortunately some people have only heard how high the building is. And I think that we really have a great opportunity to have a beautiful building built in Port Credit. And for that reason, I hope in your wisdom that you will support this development application.
Okay, thanks very much, Jonathan.